Today we continue with our breakfast for the dollhouse, making some bacon, both cooked and uncooked bacon. So join me and see how easy and fun this is to make. First, let's look at some raw bacon. We have a slice of raw bacon. Why do I have a slice of raw bacon? Well, if you've watched my videos, you know that I am a real firm believer in having whatever I'm making in front of me, if at all possible. Because otherwise you're not going to get the colors, you're not going to get the shape. Those things are not going to be right. So I look at the bacon and I look at color. I see that the fat is an off-white color. So I mix some off-white. This is equal parts flesh pink, white, and translucent. The amounts of clay, the formulas will be in the blog post, so be sure and check the blog out. Then we have the meat stripes. And there's 3 different colors. It goes from darker at this end to lighter. Well, first I mixed up a meat mix. This is equal parts terracotta and Indian red. But it's too dark. So I took equal parts of this, and that gave me this color. This is my darkest of the meat colors. Then I took some of this and I mixed it with an equal part of this white color, and I got the medium color I wanted. Then I took some of this, mixed it with an equal part of the fat color, and got this color for the lightest color. So be sure and check the blog post. The blog post will have the full instructions for mixing your clay. Then, if we look at the outside, it's got a darker color on the outside skin or rind of the bacon. So we're going to use some clay, some chalks, just like we do when we do baked goods. So let me get this out of my way. It'll still be where I can watch it, where I can look at it and get my references. And we'll start building some bacon. Alright, so we are going to start with the darker mixed color. This is, I think I referred to this color in the blog post as Bacon 2, or Bacon 3, excuse me. This is Bacon 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's all in the blog post, so you can look there. So I'm going to put down a little piece of that. And then I'm going to put, there was another little piece that maybe doesn't run all the way through. It's going to be there. Oh, incidentally, another thing I did when I looked at the bacon was I measured it. It's about 10 inches this way by 1.5 inches this way. That's important when we go to form this. Now, because I don't want, you know, really even strips, I want to form my clay by hand, not with the pasta machine. Now I take the medium color, and I'm going to lay it so it comes in here, and I'm going to lay a little bit over here. I'm going to leave that space in the middle. Now, I'm going to build some fat up here. Make a layer of fat all the way across. And now our lightest color. And I'm going to kind of stretch it to make it shorter. So I get, there, I like that piece. See, I need that a little wider though. Kind of like that piece. Now, our final piece of white. Alright, now we have a bacon. This doesn't look like much yet, does it? Not really. Looks like a blob of clay. That's what we've got now. And now we are going to start. This has blue. This white clay I bought, there's little flecks of blue all the way through my white clay. And I don't know where it came from. I need my ruler. I'm very quickly looking around saying, where did I drop my ruler? That clear ruler is really something because it's great to work with, but it's impossible to find. Now remember how big I said our bacon was. It was about 10 inches long, and it was about 1.5 inches tall. So we need to translate that into miniature. And I need to turn the camera off and find my ruler. I'll be right back. It was right next to me. Alright, so let's see how big we've got so far. We are about 1.25 inches. And we will want it about 1/8 of an inch tall once we get it stretched out. Let's see what we've got now. Ooh, I like that. Okay. So, I'm going to get my bacon out of the way, but not where the dog can reach it. I'm going to get some yellow ochre chalk out. And my paintbrush. And we're not going to put a dark coating of this on, not like we would if we were making bread. We just want just barely a whisper of this. Just so the edge has just a little bit of color. There. Perfect. Now, let's cut this and see how it looks. And there we go. We have bacon. So I need a paper plate. Oops. I knew I'd forget something when I set my table up today. It's just been one of those days. Now remember, since we are doing raw bacon, it will be fairly flat. But we are going to make some, and I like cutting it kind of on an angle. I think it looks nicer when it's cut on an angle. Let's see if I can lay this out like a package of bacon would be. There. So that's how easy raw bacon is. And you can use this in so many places. Now what if you want to have like one of those, you can also do bacon. Bacon sometimes comes this way. Just kind of score little lines in so it looks like there. Now we've got a nice, because bacon's sold that way sometimes too. So I am going to continue to slice slices of this. I'll bake this off, and this will only need to be baked. Look at your clay package for temperature. I believe because we're using translucent in here, it usually needs the lowest temperature, which I think is 230 degrees now, if I remember correctly, or 235. So I'll go bake this, and then I'll come back with a piece. I'll show you this baked off, and we'll start doing some cooked bacon. Alright, so here's our finished bacon, and I think this looks pretty darn good. We can put this into a scene. And and they'll drop into a pan very nicely. So let's go on to some cooked bacon. What's different? Well, it's shrunk a lot. It still obviously is going to have the same basic structure, and you're not going to see a lot of the structure. It's a lot more golden colored, obviously, because it's cooked. And you notice it's curved and it's bumpy, it's rippled. The meat side always shrinks more than the fat side. So let's get started. We're actually using the same cane. And I'm just going to cut a small part off of this because I want to use more of this later. And I'm actually going to do something you don't see me do very often. I am going to bake this bacon on a ceramic tile, and I'll tell you why here in a second. So first off, we need to work this out. We need to make it thinner, a little smaller. Now I'll cut off that end. I just stretched it out a little bit. So it's a little bit, probably closer to between a 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch wide. Now we're going to make some slices again. Obviously we won't be leaving any whole because you wouldn't have cooked bacon, you know, in a slab. Alright. Now let's get, probably our dental tool would be a good thing to use. We need to kind of curve this around and kind of bend it around, kind of, you know, curve it and smush it and push it up. Get it so it's, and remember, every slice of bacon cooks a little differently. Now if you weren't going to glue this down, I'm actually going to be gluing, eventually I'll be gluing these onto like breakfast plates and that kind of thing, so it will be, it's okay if they have a shiny side on the bottom. If you were going to have them loose for whatever reason, although I can't see why you would ever have bacon loose, but you might, then you'll want to cook it on a paper plate. I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. Mainly because in our final step of making this look cooked, we are going to paint it with some amber glass stain, and it's easier to paint it if it's stuck to the tile. So there we go, we've got it. They're all curled and they're scrunched up a little bit, and they're just kind of use your fingers. It's okay if you have some lumps in it. That's all there is to that. Then I have a piece of chalk. This is kind of a brick color, I guess is what I would call it. Kind of a reddish brownish color, and we are going to paint this all over our bacon. Because remember, it got brown. It got golden brown and delicious, as I say in my cooking blog. And you can put more now if you want to have the bacon. Let's see, we can also put just a couple of splatters of I'll kind of sprinkle it with a little bit of this. Now if you want to make a scene where they've burnt the bacon, then take some black and just run some black over it. That would work too. That would be kind of cool too. So I'm going to bake this off the same as the other bacon, about 230 degrees for probably about 5 or 6 minutes is all it will take. And when it's baked off, I'll be back and we'll do the next stage. Alright, so here's our bacon. It's all cooked. We've got one more step though. It's looking cooked. It's looking pretty cooked, but it's still dull. And we need it to look more like it's been cooked and it's got some fat on it, and that just all that wonderful fat and shininess from that bacon has. And to do that, using my standby gallery glass in amber, and we're just painting that on. And this is why I left these on, why I baked these actually on the tray, because this is much easier than having to track them down as they, you know, run all over the paper plate. And you don't want to use the gallery glass on the paper plate because, well, you can, but it makes a little bit of a mess. I find lately I've been doing it on here. I really like this one where I kind of bubbled it up. So that's all there is to it. I'll get another view of this when it's when the paint dries and it turns more clear. We'll look at these again. So my bacon is, the glass paint is dry. Let's see if I can zoom in and have this not disappear on us. Oops. Is that going to focus? Hopefully that's focusing. So there's our bacon. Looks nice and cooked, and we'll see this again later when I plate up some of our breakfasts. And of course we also have our raw bacon ready to be cooked in the kitchen. We can make some really cool scenes with these. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.